Oh, you ready? Oh. Sorry, neighbor, I was daydreaming. My director was trying to thumbs up me, and I had my eyes down. After the eyes are down, you can't see anything up, can you? Well, we're in the middle of a discussion about textiles, and I grew up in textiles. I think I told you before that Daddy had 25 years in the mill and over 30 with the company. Mother 25, or probably close to 30 if you count her Langdale years. And I guess I had a total of 14. And 3 generations of Valley people earned their living in textiles. And I'm trying to keep these videos 12 minutes and less, under 10 if possible. When I'm talking about textiles and talking about the mills, it might be a little hard to do. Nobody that worked in textiles will tell you that it's not an emotional subject. I have products here that we made in these mills. The towel, you know that I have a fantasy that my family might have had a hand in making that towel because it came out of the mill that I worked in, that my mother worked in, several aunts and uncles worked in. We had challenges. West Point Purple was the best run textile company in the world. Look it up. It's there. We were the best. We had challenges. And today we're going to talk about one of them. Now, I well remember as a boy, before air conditioning came to the mills, and they had windows, and you'd see the lights on at night. And I remember commenting to my mother driving in front of Langdale Mill one night how pretty that was. And I remember her saying, all right, I'll get you a job inside of that mill when you get old enough, and then come back and tell me how pretty it is. My mama turned out to be a prophet on that one. And then later on, of course, they bricked the windows in and air conditioning came to be inside the mills. But there was something inside those mills that was a constant presence. It was called cotton dust. And somewhere along the way, the federal government invented the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is supposed to be their watchdog for the benefit of workers like us, to make sure that companies like West Point Pepperell were providing a safe workplace for their employees. Nobody's going to argue with that part. And at some point, cotton dust, and this is called brown lung disease, and they got a scientific name for it about as long as this window here, but I'm not even going to dignify that. It was brown lung dust. That's just the way it was. Now, I'm going to admit to you right off the bat that textile companies, not just ours, initially didn't want a whole lot to do with this. It is true that there were people who went to meetings where doctors said, there ain't no such thing. Then later on down the road, they came back and they said, it's just people that smoke that get this. And that worked pretty good till people who had never smoked a day in their life came up with it. Now you got a problem. So you see this building. And it is a true statement that many times manufacturing companies had to be kind of figuratively drawn to the safety aspect of this thing, and how do you deal with it? How do you make the work environment safer? Now, I was there when this happened. I have admitted to you that my company, probably no textile company you know about, initially did the right thing. But I was there when they started to do the testing and so forth, to find out what they needed to do. First thing they did was hung machines up all over the mill to gauge the level of cotton dust in the air in each department. Now, when they got done with that, it was kind of obvious that some help was going to be needed. Well, what help are you going to give? They came up with a face mask idea. And the way it worked was, depending on the level of cotton dust in your department, you might have to wear that mask the whole 8 hours you were in there. The weave shed, for example. On the other hand, if you worked in bleacher and dye works, you may not have to wear it for 2 hours, just depending on the level of cotton dust in the air. And once the cotton mill companies really got into this thing, I will testify they did everything they could to mitigate this in a way that would benefit their employees. I hated the mask. I didn't care. I'm going to say to you that probably 8 out of 10 employees that had to wear those masks hated them. Furthermore, if some of these government wonky-wonks that came up with these mask ideas, if they had to wear them themselves in the kind of heat we worked in, they might have come up with a different idea. We might have had a different way of mitigating this cotton dust issue. But we know that government don't do that, right? They come up with ideas, and people like us, we're expected to make them work. All right, Hugh, simmer down. Anyhow, we made it work. We just made it work. Over the passage of time, more modern equipment came into play. Reader openings, spinning frames, things like that. And card and drawing process got kind of streamlined there. And over time, it got to be to where that it wasn't really necessary to wear them as much. But boy, I'm trying to be good, y'all. I'm really trying to be good. I'm going to tell you about a little something that happened. It'll just put a little bright light on how it don't matter. Listen to me. Companies out there, just do the right thing to start with. You know, you let the government get involved in it, and they're gonna choke you to death. And think they're doing the right thing. Just do the right thing. Take care of your folks. Well, the media got involved in this thing, and my experience with the media is, especially on the national level, locally there's still some good folks out there, but nationally, they're just full of wokeism and socialism, and I don't even listen to them anymore. But there was a program on TV. And it's still, I guess, still going today. I ain't listened to it since the program I'm going to tell you about. A program called 60 Minutes on CBS. Well, they wanted to come down to our valley, and they wanted to spend a day and do a story on this brown lung issue. Mr. Joe Lanier and his staff at West Point, they were only too happy to have them down. In fact, I remember in the local paper that said that he was closeted for a day of interviewing and so forth with, I think the fellow's name was Wallace. And Mr. Lanier on this day, he gave 60 Minutes everything they asked for. If they say he didn't, they're liars. The cover for this story on TV was a man from a little town called Opelika. I have no doubt this man was sick. I have no doubt it was brown lung. Okay, I get it. But when you're leading to the story is that man hacking his head off, you know it ain't going to go good for the company that you're going to be talking about. Mr. Lanier pulled medical records for them. He took them out to Lanier Carter Mills out on I-85 and showed them which direction the company was headed with its facilities, and tried to show them how that they had different ways for people to wear masks and so forth and stay safe on the job and maybe not have so much of this stuff come up in their employees. When that report hit the air, look it up. I ain't got to argue with you. Look it up. The entire thing was a hatchet job. They spent maybe 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, with the West Point Pepperell people trying to show them what they were doing to help mitigate this thing. No, they came there for one reason and one reason only, to absolutely destroy and tear down West Point Pepperell's credibility in every way they could, and they did. They might want to know the people in our valley didn't see it that way. They did not, and they don't to this day. And I will tell you that I have never watched another episode of that program. What's it been, 40 years now? And I never will. It was my first experience with the national media absolutely taking apart every nut and bolt and hinge and casting aside. Their agenda was the only thing they were interested in. Oh, they're going to tell you, oh, we were fighting for the workers. Give me a break. Really? Fairness says show both sides. If you're going to tear somebody down for not doing the right thing, at least give them equal credit when they finally do the right thing and they're trying to make things better. Give yourself credit for making them if you want to. That's all right. But just don't do a hatchet job and try to just scuff over, just bypass, just brush to the side everything they're trying to do. You didn't want to hear anything about that. You just wanted to finish your hatchet job. And you did. But you never had me as a viewer from that day to this, and you never will. Did we have brown lung experience in our family? Yes, we did. My dear father, I told you he worked 25 plus years in Langdale Mill. And he was tested. And settlements came into play for people that showed that they had this brown lung. Some got large pigments, some got smaller ones, just depending on how serious the issue was with their own health. Now, in my daddy's case, they cut his settlement in half. I do not remember what it was. In fact, I don't think he ever told me. He didn't think it's none of my business, I guess. But they cut his in half because he was also a chain smoker. Half the problem is that nicotine you're putting in your lungs, Mr. Ogle. The other half is brown lung. Here's our part. You know what? My daddy never said a bad word at all whatsoever. He said, thank you for the check. West Point Pepperell found him a place in the recreation department in Riverview. He went on to become one of the best softball coaches the Valley area ever had. His Riverview women's team one day came to a place where they'd won like 57 games in a row. They won the Valley Invitational Women's Slow Pitch Softball Tournament. How many years in a row? Was it 10? I need to research that sometime to find out. They were dynamite. So Daddy had that experience. Yes, he had the brown lung disease. And yes, he was compensated for it. He was also held accountable for the fact that he chose to be a chain smoker. And he understood that. Where we live in now says, I don't care if I am a chain smoker. If you had anything to do with my sickness, then bless God, you're going to pay me all of it. Oh, grow up. Well, anyways, I need to watch myself very carefully. I'm starting a new book, and you can hear me. Hear me well. CBS, you're going to be in it. William Farley, you're going to be in it. And you can thank God that I have a godly wife that's being the governor on my motor. So I won't say what I really think, but I'm going to tell facts from the cotton mill worker's perspective. People that wore clothes like this because they didn't have nothing else to wear. Not because, like me, I'm trying to represent them and be a voice for them. People that work 8 and 16-hour shifts just to have food on the table and a roof over their heads. People that you are not fit to tie their shoestrings. Any of you. People that I will speak for till the day I die. Don't you ever doubt. I know this has been a little more serious. This was serious to us. This was our life. And as you're going to see in the next video, we have very, very little patience for the people we think destroyed that way of life for the last time. God bless your heart. Pray for me. I don't want to die. Look, I'm a Christian first. I understand it. I got a standard I got to try to stay to. But these are my people. They suffered in many ways. And it didn't have to be that way. God bless your heart. I love you. Hey, look here. We got a little shirt. Old Center Boy, saved by grace. If you want one, let me know in the comments. We'll get in touch with you. We'll hook up some kind of way, and we'll make a way for you to get one of these. Hit the like button for me, won't you? Subscribe. Help us out. Help our little family to grow. We're gonna stand for the little man. We're gonna stand for him. You can count on it, and we're not gonna back down. I love you, every single one of you. I love you. God bless your heart. You have a great day now. We'll be back real soon. We're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna move on and have some fun. We'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.